go ahead and introduce Rachel Majors. Rachel holds a few marketing titles in Northwest Arkansas, one of which is the Director of Marketing for Pink House Alchemy. She's a digital content marketer with a passion for growing businesses through mostly organic marketing efforts. You might recognize her as the hand model in Pink House recipe photos. So yes, Rachel, that's right. Her main claim to fame. Outside of work, you'll find her walking around Fayetteville, supporting local business, hiking the trails with her dogs, or gardening. Excited to have you here, Rachel. And then Tyler, who is so elusive that he doesn't have a bio on his LinkedIn that he didn't even know existed. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Tyler, and have you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about TC. Go ahead.
Okay, my name's Tyler Carroll. I am a co-founder and co-owner of TC Screen Printing with locations in Siloam Springs and Bentonville. I'm not a hand model. I am not any kind of model. I'm just a regular guy. So that's about it. I love my dogs. I love my kids.
Great. Thanks so much. And also you missed the most important thing, which is that you are a Siloam Springs guy, and that's how I know Tyler. We've been for years.
25 years, something like that. 20 years.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
I remember when I was a teenager, your sister took me under her wing and took me to a show of yours. We don't talk about that. Move on. We are talking about it. So
that's the way that goes. So.
Yeah. Well, it's just cool because it's been really exciting to see Tyler move away and come back to Siloam Springs and bring his creative business. So I'm excited for you all to hear a bit more about that process. In fact, I'm just going to say, Brittany, you can stop sharing and we can just see each other's faces. Thank you.
There we go.
Tyler, tell us a bit about the role that creativity plays in TC Screen Printing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we are a creative business by trade. Our job, I try to tell the people that work for us all the time, everybody that comes here, like they're coming here because they want us to be creative for them. Like we end up, whether we want to or not, being the purveyors of cool for their businesses and companies. And I was like, I don't care how uncool you feel today, this person needs you to know what you're talking about. So for us, creativity bleeds through everything. It bleeds through how we set up our offices. We're in the middle of designing our new headquarters right now, and trying to create spaces where everybody from account manager, a lot of places focus on the creative department. So just like the graphic designers, the video people, but we really try to create our entire building to where everybody's inspired to be creative in our business, from the project managers to the person answering calls at the front desk, to the embroidery and sewing department, to the people like sorting boxes and our dock workers. We really try to spread that out through everything we do, and I think in the same way that when you smile on the phone, people can hear it. I don't know how that works, but it does work. We believe that the product is only made better when every piece of the process is encouraging creativity on our team. So.
And your creativity, the uniqueness of TC Screen Printing is being recognized. Where are you right now, physically in the world?
Right now, I am out at San Diego Comic-Con because for the last 7 years, we've been doing product creation, development, creation, and production for Fox Animation and Disney through shows like the big ones, Bob's Burgers. So we do all of their convention merchandise that they sell online. And for 7 years, they've been trying to get. Thank you. I just see that in the chat. For 7 years, they've been trying to get me to come out and hang out with them at Comic-Con for the week and like meet people and work the booths. And this year, my wife, Allison, who is my co-owner and co-founder, she runs the day-to-day operations of the business. She was like, well, why haven't you gone for 7 years? And I was like, well, the last 2 years, COVID, and didn't really think it was a good idea to leave you and the kids in Arkansas for a week and a half while I go hang out in San Diego. And she's like, well, this is your job. You're going this year. So I didn't argue her. But we had multiple clients out here this year. So I brought all their product out with me in a Sprinter van, hand delivered it. And then I've been just, I don't know, man, it's like nerd Super Bowl out here. It's awesome. It's been a lot of fun.
And can you just stand up a little bit and show some of your merch you've got on right now?
Gosh.
So
Arkansas shirt company. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the Arkansas T-shirt Club.
Yeah, for us a couple years ago, we had a client that was bringing in some pretty regular business every month, just basic customization, doesn't matter what it was. And that entire division of their company got shut down. And so we said, well, we want to start something that's, regular business. So let's give subscription revenue a try to kind of fill in the gap there. So we started the Arkansas Shirt Club and also the PDL Shirt Club, which is based around cycling. And so for $14 a month, people get a Arkansas themed shirt shipped to their door every single month. Super fun, super comfortable. A lot of subscribers. People are really getting into it, which is a lot of fun. So a lot of my creative energy gets put towards that now, that and the cycling end of the brand. So it's super fun.
And I'm a proud member of the Arkansas T-shirt Club.
You are.
So you all should join. In fact, Tyler, you should drop your website link in the chat. So if people want to do that, then they can, because you should. And with it's like T-shirts that are customizable. And later, if we have time, I will show you all my custom T-shirt that I've had made with TC for our classic movie cocktail club, which consists of me, my aunt, my husband, my brother-in-law, and my sister and brother-in-law. And we all have T-shirts that say CMCC. So it can, like, what I love about your business is that it can be for families, and it can also be like helping people to be creative with T-shirts with their own design, and you all help with that. But also you're at Comic-Con with huge deals, huge gigs with big companies. So that's a pretty impressive scope of work. One other thing I wanted to say about what I admire about TC, when I was just recently looking through your Instagram, I love how you shout out the artists that are part of your team and how you give recognition to the illustrators that you work with. Can you talk just a little bit about them as a heartbeat of the creativity of your business?
Yeah, so that's actually super intentional at TC. A lot of places are afraid. Our industry tends to have high turnover. We don't in our particular company. That's due to, I could talk about a number of HR things that we've implemented to try to curb that at our company in particular. But for us, a lot of people are afraid to tag their people because they don't want to lose their people. But man, our people are so stinking talented, and the opportunities that they get afforded simply by being who they are, putting excellent work out there. But also, they'll be like, oh, hey, so-and-so follows you on Instagram and saw that you tagged me, and I just got this great freelance job off of it. I'm like, that's awesome. That's incredible. We don't take credit for it because it's their work. I mean, I love what they do for us, and why wouldn't we recognize them individually? So we don't tag them in everything all the time because it would just get cumbersome. And some things they're like, I don't want to be tagged in that. Like it's not a portfolio piece necessarily. But yeah, for us, it's about not being afraid to share the secret sauce that is what we do. Because people can find out who works for you. It's there's no reason in hiding your people. Let them shine. Let them get the credit. We don't need it.
Yeah, it just makes it so clear to me, looking through your social media, there are creative, artistic people that are part of your team. And I don't know, I think that when pressed, when people are asked, like, name a creative business in Northwest Arkansas, if they haven't really thought about what a creative business is, I'm not sure that they would immediately say, oh, like a screen printing store business.
Yeah.
Or, oh, PH Alchemy that sells incredible simple syrups and beautiful flavors and gorgeous bottles. And so something that I think is interesting about the two of you talking with us today is helping to expand our imagination about what is artistry and what is creative. And we have so much creativity in our local businesses. So I'd love to hear from you, Rachel, a little bit about the same question that I asked Tyler. What role does creativity play at PH Alchemy?
Yeah, and a huge role. So Kelsey and I got to talk earlier this week, which was really fun, but it got me really amped. I was like, I think in day-to-day small business, sometimes you can feel like you're just going through the motions. And I was like, wow, we do so much cool stuff. Like everything really is creative. But yeah, from our products, all of our products are made with whole botanicals and like I think that even our, products and ingredients are very creative. So from the food physical side of the product, to the way we display the brand, like the images behind me, we get to do really fun kind of dramatic shoots. That's kind of part of our brand, and I'm going to show our Instagram in a little bit. But we just get to kind of ball out. We've always worked with Kat Wilson, who is the owner's Emily's wife, and she's just an amazing photographer and artist. Right now we have a branding expert in from Marfa, who's one of Emily's friends, and so we're kind of exploring creativity in a different way than we've been able to before. A lot of my role as the marketing director is obviously a lot of messaging, and it's kind of funny, but I've never considered myself as like a truly, my speaker. Oh, sorry.
I think you're
I'm
good.
probably moving my speaker on my hand.
Your mic, you're good.
But a lot of my like traditional marketing expertise is actually in like the back end side and analytics and SEO and a lot of stuff that most people don't like to do. But working with Pink House has been really amazing because I'm just around so much creativity all the time, and the products are like inspire you to want to create more. And so I've been able to kind of help hone into a craft that I never felt super confident in by just like feeling very inspired by everything around me, which is really neat. Getting a little bit out of that numbers driven kind of world has been really fun. Yeah.
Something that you mentioned when we talked earlier this week that has stuck with me is this theme of how PH Alchemy makes a very intentional effort to share creative power, and that it's not just about showing off the creativity that you all have in the culinary creation of your syrups, but also in empowering and sharing that with your customers so that they take part in the creation. That especially was sort of manifest in your cocktail kits. Can you talk a little bit about that and that sharing of creative power with your customers?
Yeah, that's a big part of our business and marketing at this point now is inspiring our customers. We have a big wholesale business, and then we have a big home user base. So we're in a lot of coffee shops, bars, restaurants, retail shops, but then we have a huge home user base. And so that was something that in the pandemic, like everyone was bored and we weren't going out to do our normal things, and people got into cocktailing or coffee, mocktails. Like we all just wanted something that felt a little more novelty to break up the day to day. And so at the shop, we kind of started with these like mixer kits that were fresh juice and syrup, and you got a garnish and a recipe card that's just like very beautiful and simple. And you could, like, a lot of people were taking them little porch hangouts, and it was 4 drinks. You had alcohol, 2 or soda water if you wanted a mocktail. And then our online customers are like, oh, I wish you could ship this to me. And we couldn't ship it because it's fresh juice. And so we kind of pivoted just to do a deconstructed cocktail kit, which is a bottle of syrup, a garnish, and a garnish can be like any of our dehydrated fruits, or now we have a line of salt, sugars, and cherries. And then a recipe card, and we'd write a little note, and people started sending them to their family and friends for their birthdays, or just like, hey, thinking of you, times are really hard right now. And we get to see these little messages come through the website, and it was really special. And then people started tagging us in their creations, and I interact with everyone who tags us in something or comes through a message, and we just like had a lot more connection with our customers at that point. And it was really neat. People save the recipe cards. Like, I think that's a big part of our brand too, is we try to keep things simple and modern, and just something that you want to display in your home. We have so many customers who will keep all their recipe cards in their recipe box at their house, or pass it to their friends. They're like, hey, I don't need this anymore. I have this memorized. You can have this. And that's the same thing with our bottles. Like, we keep the bottle branding very simple because like it's something you want to display. I have all of mine on, we have a little like bar cabinet. We have all of ours displayed. We have customers tag us in huge displays that they have of our syrups. and it's really cool to see a product be able to be incorporated into someone's lives and their hobbies. So we love seeing that. And on the flip side, we kind of also talked the other day about how we allow, or how we want to incorporate our customers' content and what they're creating into our marketing strategy and our Instagram. And a lot of brands don't do that because they want their feed to look a certain way and the customer's aesthetic might not match your own. And there are times we pass to share on some things, but at the same time, like, we really want to celebrate our customers creating with our products, and it shows just the diversity of our product and how creativity can change based on what's in other people's brains and their experiences. So that's really neat. And so for every third or fourth post on our feed, you'll see something that we've reshared and tag the creator in, and we love being able to celebrate that with them.
Tyler, do you all ever incorporate your audience generated content into your feed? Or do you keep it? You do?
Yeah, as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, it's a great idea, because people will interact. It's like the same thing. When you get your yearbook in high school, what do? The first thing, you go into the back of the book and you're finding where all the pictures of yourself are. That's what everybody does. They're like, what pages am I on? People love when their content gets shared on your social platform. And then they tell their friends, oh, they featured my thing. It is a great way to connect with people. I love that you said that, because it's so perfect, and it's such an easy thing. Like, yeah, the aesthetic of your business is important, right? But let go of it sometimes, because really your aesthetic of your business is your customers and what they choose to do with your products.
Yeah, you have no
That's it.
business without your customers, so
No,
you can't cut them out of your processes, in my opinion.
who cares how we want it to look? They'll take it, like for us, they'll take it and style it however they want. I don't get to tell them how to wear the things we produce. Yeah.
So if you've got sort of a loose hold then over your aesthetic in terms of, yeah, we know that when we put stuff out, it's going to be strictly part of our brand, but we bring the customers into it. So how, I'd like to know, Tyler, what do you feel like you want TC to be known for, and how does that come through in your branding, in your messaging, in your look? How do you send that message?
So for us, we've said from the beginning that we want to be the nicest people on the block, because no one gets mad. They have a really hard time getting mad at you when you're just super nice to them all the time. And which comes through in the way we answer the phone at TC, which is why I said earlier, like, if you smile on the phone, people can tell. I'm fine if we're not able to produce their product or hit up what they, thank you, Kelsey, hit the goals that they need us to hit or something. Sometimes things don't work out. We have to say no, or we're unable to do that, or, hey, let's send you over here to get this done. But as long as they leave knowing that we are there to be super kind and super helpful, I think that's the ultimate goal for us there. We've said from the beginning too that, like, making the products is the easy part. There's a lot of t-shirt shops out there. There's a lot of custom merchandisers out there. You need to make an excellent product if you're in that business. So what's the other thing for us? The other thing for us is just being super helpful, super kind, matching the customer's energy, and also just being deeply empathetic with what they're after. If they need it quick or they're stressed about it, reflect that back to them. Make sure they know that you do care about what it is. You may not understand it, but you care.
And that kindness is also, and I feel like it's combined with this bit of humility and kindness of featuring the artists on your team. Like, you're showing we're a group of humans here. Like, we are real people that care about you. And as a business, we care about our team, and showing their talent and being enthusiastic about the thing that we've made, the things that we're proud of. So that also, to me, like, contributes to what you're trying to convey, that we're nice and we care.
Yeah.
So
the voice in all of our marketing is always, I mean, maybe a little snarky sometimes, but always like the get it snarky. It's a little dad jokey, but like in all the best ways. Like we just like for people to smile when they read our stuff, and if they smile, they're going to associate your business with good things. And always putting that out there is really important in what we do.
What about you, Rachel? I mean, with your marketing strategy for PH, what is it that you want to be known for? What message do you want coming through your posts and the aesthetic? What are you focused on?
Yeah, we definitely take like a fun, kind of weird, funky approach. Like we definitely want to be approachable. We try to be very friendly and upbeat and just kind of real at the same time. Like um the past few years have been really hard, and we know that at our core we're a sugar business and no one has to buy us, but we get all these customers who have really incorporated Pink House into their daily lives. Like people will be like, I cannot even drink my coffee this morning because I ran out of pH Delight. And we'll just reply and be like, oh, the tragedy, we have to get you some syrup ASAP. And we just like, we can be a little dramatic, we can be a little funky, we can be fun, and we can also relate to people at the same time. Like, I think a few examples of it during the pandemic were just like, as a small business, it can be hard to like offer sales and discounts because you're like, oh, can we operate at a bit of a loss right now? But then at the same time, we would do some, like, we had never really taken a strategy of a lot of sales before just because we were really small. And as we kind of grew through the pandemic, we're like, this is important for us to be able, we have a lot of customers who might only be able to buy our product if it's discounted a little bit. So we want to like expand the opportunities for people to be able to experience Pink House. And so we do some flash sales, and I would just send an email. I'm like, it's, it's hard. Like, here's 15% off. We know that at the end of the day, it's sugar, but like, we hope this brings you a little bit of joy in your life. Or we launched a product this year called Magic Potion. And it's our hibiscus rose syrup with glitter in it because it's just like fun. And I wrote this absurd copy. I got in this weird headspace. Emily calls me. She's like, let's send this to label in 10 minutes. And then like, oh, okay, I need to be in copywriting mode. And I wrote this like really bizarre, just kind of like hype you up, weird magic potion bottle copy. And I was like, that's really cool to be able to just be weird sometimes and copy, and just kind of like amp people up through a bottle. Like, it's kind of fun. So it's like, it can be little things like that.
So in the session that we had this morning, we talked with Startup Junkie about how really critical it is to start first and thinking about who is TC, who is PH Alchemy, and thinking about our unique value proposition and starting there as an anchor for your messaging framework, for the kind of communications that you're putting out there. So it's just funny hearing you, like I jokingly put in the chat, like, Tyler, you basically, the summary of TC is, yeah, we're sort of dad jokey and we're super nice. And then, Rachel, it's like, we're kind of funky, kind of weird, and we know we're a sugar company. So is there, do you feel like you have a grounding idea in your head that helps to drive your messaging to stay consistent? Do you have something that keeps your messaging, that it keeps your voice consistent? What about you, Tyler?
We take the teacher methodology of tell them what you're going to tell them what you told them. A lot of times for us, it's repetition in, here's the thing we're doing. Here's the things we offer. Okay, do you hear that? Here's all the things we can do for you. Because, the number of my personal friends who go, oh, you guys offer embroidery? Oh, you can do full custom merchandising? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like I haven't said anything for 12 years. Like, it gets really frustrating. So for us, like, as simple as that sounds, it's consistency in messaging, but remember to call back to what we can do and making sure that we are constantly showing the variety of things we can offer. Because if I just say, oh, we're a custom merchandising company, and then you go get hats made somewhere, but you get t-shirts made by us, I'm like, oh no, we can do all of that for you. Like, just like, let me take it in-house. Like, not that we have to have all your business, but let me take that in-house. Let me give you like a complete package here of products that all work together, that we know we can source, that we know we can do quality work on everything, to where, yeah, it ends up being more consistent for us if we can somehow get that across. But it's consistently the most difficult thing to remind people.
That's interesting, that the thing that makes you unique, that you have this full operation for merchandising, for custom merchandising, that's like the core of what you all do that makes you unique. You're finding that you have to repeat it over and over and in new ways to finally get to hit home.
Yeah. The
Rachel,
number of
what about-
people that I've known for years that ask us, "Oh, you do that?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, we're here. Let's go for it."
Yeah. And I think that's going to be applicable for any creative business, that it's whatever is your unique value proposition, whatever is the thing that you offer people, you got to just keep saying it in different ways, which is why it's so important to have a website and have different social media platforms. Like, you got to say it over and over and tell your story, tell it over and over. That's been a theme this week. So yeah, Rachel, same question. Do you have some sort of unique value proposition that anchors the way that you message, the way that you communicate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's been consistent the past 3 years because it's just been me doing it. And so that's like great, but you need to be bringing in more people to the business. And so we're at that point now where I'm needing to learn how to teach people to kind of have that voice and tone. And a lot of the times it's just kind of coaching them through just like, I think a lot of the times in marketing too, like, you are maintaining a brand and image. And so it's always kind of this like, can I say that? Is that okay type of thing? Because like I have a strong B2B background and I have a part-time role with a retail brokerage. So my brain at that job is totally different than the brain I have at Pink House and the brain I have with my small business clients I consult through the U of A Small Business Center too. And so you're kind of like, yeah, you're teaching people it's okay to, be a little more creative in that. It's okay to say something that you want, like if it's in your head and you think it's funny and you think it's Pink House, like workshop it. We can figure that out. And if it's not 100% there, trying to have that feedback loop, I think is important. But we face the same things too that Tyler is saying, is like, as humans, we just absorb so much media, or Instagram is blocking a certain account from you. Like you're not always seeing our accounts or something. And so it's like this overload. And so always reminding people, like that is something that we try to do all the time, of just like in every post we say you can order your products online at pinkhousealchemy.com or visit us in store at 928 North College Avenue, place a pickup order on PHFate, like just, and try to put our hours in, because the one time you don't, someone messages you, hey, what time are you open? There's 8 other ways they can figure out the hours of our shop. But it's just like, that's the whole core of content marketing too, is like trying to meet people where they are all the time in the ways that they consume media. And that can also be very overwhelming. And so I think just like, yeah, having those set things that that you always do, and then mixed in some fun, creative stuff throughout the way. And everyone consumes everything differently.
Well, that segues. Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
No, I was going to ask Rachel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you find that the thing that we call it is not being afraid to reintroduce ourselves on a regular basis? Do you find that like is a thing that you guys have to do? I feel like every 2 weeks I have to be like, oh, I have to tell people who we are and what we offer. Like I have to reintroduce myself at this party. Do you find you're having to do that as well?
Yeah. And I think it's something that I probably need to do more, especially on social, because we've doubled our following in the past 2.5 years. And so we have to do that more. Like someone just commented on the drink post that we put up on Wednesday, and we're like, because I always say pH strawberry syrup or something. Like I also have these like little tiny marketing things that I always do. We never just say strawberry syrup. We always say pH strawberry syrup. But then someone comments and it's like, can you explain what pH is and what your syrups are? And I'm like, okay. And at the same time, I'm like, how did you find this page? I want to know everything about you because I need this insight. And so something that we did that was actually really fun, and like I would recommend any page, any owner to do this. We did a giveaway that was so low stakes. We just said, don't do anything except for tag a person you think would like Pink House and tell us why you love Pink House or why you love the brand. And then I got 400 comments of people telling us like total word of mouth marketing insights, which you don't get any metrics around word of mouth. And so that was really awesome. And I still go through those all the time, and I'm learning from them. I use them as customer quotes, but similarly of just like, I found it through this person, I found it through this coffee shop, and kind of using our customers to understand what they need from us too. But yeah, I feel that for sure.
We had an interesting session earlier this week about, you have to start by knowing yourself. And it's not that you want your customers to change who you are, but it is so important to do gut checks and regularly check in to make sure that who you know your business to be, is that how you're being perceived? And is that how your customers are engaging? So can you just say one more time what the post was? Tag somebody who, can you just say it one more time? Because 400 is a lot. It sounds like
Yeah.
a survey.
So that's what I kind of used it as, because I was in my first marketing job was in influencer marketing. And so a lot of the times when people do a giveaway or a something where you're trying to get followers, you're getting a lot of bots and you're getting a lot of people who actually don't care about your brand. And so you'll see an initial tick up and then you'll see a huge drop. And so you don't actually get lifers from that. And so I was like, okay, we have tens of thousands of followers. Like, we don't need anything from them. We can do this in a way that's more organic. And so it was just like, tag a person who you think would love Pink House or that you'd like to share this with, and tell us your favorite thing about Pink House, why you love us, how you found us. There was like, it was just all kind of qualitative. And then we gave away like a cocktail kit, a sweatshirt from TC, and something else that I don't remember. But that was really cool. And I think we need to do that again for sure. But I went through those comments the other day because I was thinking about some new cool like Instagram or Facebook ads that we could do to like new customers, just some awareness campaigns. And I was like, it'd be really cool just to pull some of those comments in and kind of tell new people why, like let our customers talk for us a little bit. And that's a strategy I like to take in marketing a lot.
Yeah, and I want to just call out in the chat, Alyssa says that she contributed to that post. So then free things are compelling. Thanks for contributing that in the chat, Alyssa. And it's that's just a brilliant way of getting people to share with others that they think would like your product. And I love how you're pointing out that these are people that already like you. These are people that already know your products, that are responding and saying what they love about it. What a great gut check. And I'm seeing in the Zoom room right now, a couple of folks who are here who are affiliated with nonprofits, looking at you, Judith, looking at you, Jeannie. Like, this is so applicable, not just for creative business, but to have a mirror from the people who you work with for your nonprofit. Do they know what Museum of Native American History provides and the services? Do they know about Rooted, really? Like, and what do they think of first? What is the first thing that they think of in just a few short words? What do they think? So what a great way to gut check how your audience is perceiving you. So that's really, really smart. Okay, I've got another question for Tyler. You talked, and this is a great segue from what Rachel was just talking about, trying to meet people where they are on different platforms. Does TC's communication strategy change depending on the client that you're working with?
Meaning like internal communications or like
do you find yourself even telling a different story about TC? Because you and I had talked a little bit about you serve such a huge variety of clients, from insurance agencies to Bob's Burgers. So is there a different way that you talk about TC, or is that consistent? It's just the method is different. How do you reach such different people?
I mean, for us, they just need to know that the things that matter to them in their business matter to us and the specific project they're on. So like the plumbers we work with, man, they don't care if it's fashion forward. They for the most part, like the framing crews we outfit, like the tradespeople, we're heavy into the trades. They go, is it gonna last? I'm gonna have to come see you next month because it all has holes in it. So we have to say, oh no, we understand like what your needs are for these particular products. Like I owned a tiling company for a long time. I grew up building houses with my grandfather. So we try to make sure it's not me most of the time, but try to make sure we're training our project managers in that to say, hey, you need to connect with them on this level. They don't want to know the tradespeople don't necessarily care that we're creating high fashion things that are walking on runways halfway across the country. That's not what they're into. Maybe some of them, and I'm not gonna put that out of it, but we make sure to try to connect with them for their particular projects and their particular industry. So if that's what you're asking, do we communicate the brand differently? I mean, the values stay the same. It's still, deeply kind, empathetic to what they're after. And then making sure that they know that they can trust us to get this project to where it needs to go. Even though for the last week we've been featuring, Bob's Burgers and like goofy hamburger t-shirts that, oh no, we still work with like local companies. Like this is not, we're not walking away from those things just because we're featuring other things. We're not trying to be all things to all people, but when people want to work with us, we're able to meet them exactly where they're at, or refer them to someone who can. I mean, that happens a lot with us.
What about you, Rachel?
Yeah, like our core messaging stays the same. Like we're never gonna lie to someone if we can't fit the needs that they want from our products or services. I think what I will kind of change some, not change, but like we get a lot of messages of people saying, how many grams of sugar is in your product? Or do you have a low sugar free, or how many calories is in this? And so I'll send them the nutrition label, and I will just kind of be like, okay, either they need to know this for a medical concern, or they just like can't handle a lot of sugar. Like I work for a sugar company and sugar gives me extreme anxiety. I have to be like, it is a treat for me if I am making a drink and I make it with very little product. And so that's what I'll tell them. I'm like, is this many grams of sugar? And this 1 ounce is our standard serving, but I get a lot of flavor from a splash of it or a quarter of an ounce, and I'll just be like, I can't handle a lot of sugar, and that's why I love these products, because they're made with whole botanicals. And I kind of go into like the why of the product, and I'm like, yeah, like you get a ton of flavor without needing a lot of sugar with our products, and just kind of relate to them based on their question. And most of the time I'm just talking at them, but I'm like, if they know it, then now they know it, and that's fine. And then most of the time they buy the product. So
yeah, the
yes,
commonality
it works.
that I'm hearing is it's not that you're changing your values, it's not that you're changing the character of your business, but you're just identifying where do we connect, where do our values connect, whether it's durability of t-shirts or dietary questions. That's important, just connecting with your consumer.
Yeah, we're always kind of battling this evil sugar story that the world has created. Some people do not care. They're like, I would drink a bottle of this a day. And then other people are very conscious about their sugar intake. And I totally understand that. I am a person who feels that way as well. And so I just think that, yeah, being able to be like, sugar at its core is not bad. Like this is about as clean of a sugar product as you can get on the market. There, we don't have XYZ in this. And at the end of the day, it's their decision if they want to buy it. But I'm never going to be like, oh, you have diabetes. Like this will be totally fine for you. That's not my choice to make for them.
Right. So. Well, you both talked about how creativity fuels your business. It can't be separated from your business. But what about the times where you feel like there is no creativity present? Is there a moment when you feel like running your business is draining your creativity? And that's not the answer, Tyler, can be No, I always feel energized and creative.
I feel
Share
top
your
of my game
secrets.
100% of the time. Like, I've got a bridge I can tell you. No, yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm thinking through it, as we've grown, the people have grown. We're at a team of about 22, soon to be 25, I think, in the next month. And that changes it. There's just a lot of the people part doesn't always get to be terribly creative. I mean, we try to be creative in how we take care of our people because we're a small business, so we don't have all the things available to us that like larger corporations have. But so there's elements of creativity in that, but those are the tiring parts are the thankless parts, I guess. We're in the middle of setting up a new facility. We'll close on about 57,000 square feet here in 3 weeks. We're super excited about it. But man, I am being told, okay, now be creative with the new space. And man, like figuring out where air conditioning vents go and all that. Like, I love like the colors, the palettes, the treatments, like the floors. I'm into that, like the layout, the flow. But there's a lot of that process that just feels it's larger than anything I've ever done. It's larger than anything we've ever done as a company. And so there's parts of it that just feel super weighty. And that feel like weight for me, if we're doing something and it has real heavy weight, a large contract, even if it's terribly amazing, like what we're doing this week with Comic-Con and Fox and Disney, the weight of it kind of saps the creative feeling out of it and makes it not feel as fun. Because for me, creativity is the fun piece. I like problem solving as well, but whenever it gets pretty weighty, even if it's creative weighty, the fun part kind of drains out of it, and it gets hard some days. Thanks for asking that. Yeah.
Well, how do you, and before I ask Rachel the same thing, how do you recharge that then? Especially when there can be seasons of weightiness like you're talking about.
Well, you got to have your hype people, your people that you call that will pump you up at any given point. And for me, like it ends up being like the other values within our company are thankfulness and gratitude, and just making sure that I'm sitting in it going, okay, yeah, but this is an incredible opportunity. Like, this new facility is going to be amazing for our people. It is going to be amazing for our customers and clients. I feel like it's going to be incredible for the very small community of Siloam Springs where we're building it. Like, we're building something special where people get paid really good wages and can make a career in an industry that doesn't normally have a lot of career opportunities. Like, I have to remind myself of the why of why we're doing it, beyond just like, well, we need more space for more stuff. So for me, like that gets me pumped back up. That gets me like back on top and willing to do the weighty things.
Rachel, what about you?
Yeah, it's just like the past few years have been hard. Like, we are all working in businesses or business owners, and we're humans dealing with everything day to day. And so that was hard for a while. And like, I think that, and I'm the only marketing person on the team too. And so sometimes I'm just like, I am all alone over here. Like, I cannot click my mouse to go do this thing one more time. I have no energy for that. And I will just reach out to someone and I'm like, help. Like, this is this, and I don't know where to go with this, but I just need help. And we'll just have a little brainstorm, or just like being able to step back, and Emily and Stephanie, and like it's reciprocal at the company of like, I'm in a marketing role, but Emily will call me a lot of the times and be like, we're facing this issue in operations, or with this, or our costs are really increasing with shipping. And we just kind of talk it out, because you have to have different perspectives. Like, it is easy to be burnt out as a human, and there's a lot of social issues happening, and you're just like facing the weight of a lot of things at one time. And I think, yeah, just kind of relying on other people, and it doesn't have to be people at work. I have a group of girlfriends who were all in like marketing and media, and I will just send them something and be like, is this stupid? Am I overthinking this? But yeah, kind of having your hype people helps a lot. But I think if you're not getting burnout, like that would be great. But I think it's also part of the process to like kind of dip a little low and be like reconsider things, and then you can get high again. And that's when the really creative, really cool ideas come out of.
You mean when you get recharged again? But
yeah, like I think if you were always amped up all the time about everything, and like that would be amazing, but at like that
Mhm.
becomes your normal at the same time, and so I think kind of like having a different perspective, whether you're in your depths of creativity and you come out of it and your brain got to take a break for a minute and then you're back and you're creating something new. um I don't know, maybe that's just for me personally, but I get those moments where I can come out of something and be like, okay, I'm back, I'm good, I'm better than I was before.
Yeah.
Just feels a little more fresh.
Yeah. Well, you've got Edward in the chat is ready to sign up to be a rep. I Edward, please put in the chat your favorite syrup. I'm curious to know because mine, I'm enjoying ginger shrub right now, but also love the pH Delight. That is so good. It's so good and everything.
Shrubs are so good and undervalued. Like,
that's gonna be the quote of the day. Shrubs are so undervalued. Okay, now I want to remind you all in the chat that I want to see your questions because I know we've got a mix of folks who are artists, creative businesses, and nonprofits. So please put your questions in the chat. My next question is for Tyler, and it's specific to you. You
Okay.
have a phrase called the sandbox method, and I'd just like
Oh,
for you to talk a little bit about that for our radio listeners.
Yeah. So for us, the sandbox method is we try to keep clients from shopping, what we do called shopping with their imaginations, because we are limited in what we can do for most people, right? Can we do full custom in the country or overseas manufacturing? Absolutely. The minimums, however, are 600 and 1,200 pieces for that kind of stuff. So it gets, it's not something we offer a typical walk-in client. Even some of our larger clients, some of the breweries, coffee companies we work with around the area, we're not offering them that kind of stuff because they don't need that much of one thing or one size of one thing. So for us, we like to tell clients what we can do. We always lead with what we are able to do. We try to avoid, no, we can't do that. No, we can't do that. No, we can't do, because then all the customer gets from you is no. So for us, we say, hey, you need to define the area for them. You need to find the sandbox for them. This is the area we can play in. Look at all this great stuff. I do the same thing with my kids when we go somewhere. Here's where we can go. It's awesome. Look at all the great things inside this area. So even though I've had to train a lot of project managers with us, they're like, I feel so limited. And I'm like, no. Like, you're looking at it from the negative end. Like, this is their blue sky. This is the whole world they get to know right now. These other things are great, but they don't need custom cut and sew out of Shanghai in 6 weeks. Like, that's not what they're after. They have an event in 2 weeks, and we need to be able to get them this. So give them all their great options that can happen within 2 weeks. So we define the sandbox for the customer. This is where we're going to play. This is where we're going to have the best time. This is where we're going to make your dreams come true in this area. But trying to make that feel as wide open as possible so that they feel like they get to be part of the creative process, not that they feel super limited on this is the one thing you can do, because it's never that. It's always more than that.
So applicable, even when thinking about for nonprofits that are in the room today, telling funders what you can do, and showing like, here's the parameter of like, I love that. This is your blue sky. There's so much that we can do. Or when you're partnering with another business or another organization or partnering with another artist, this is our blue sky. There's so much creativity. There's so much room for creativity that we can do. But I love that having those parameters, that for you, it's the positive. It's not a box of negativity. It's like, look at all the space we have to play. So yeah. I really like the sandbox method. So wanted you to share that. Got a great question in the chat from Judith. Judith, do you want to go off mute and ask your question, or you want me to say it?
I could ask it. So one of the things that I'm really working on, I'm very creative, but I live in the social justice bubble, managing my creative time versus the admin time. Because once I drop to the admin stuff, my mind's gone, right? Like I'm struggling. So if you guys could speak a little bit about how you manage that creativity time versus that admin time. Thank you.
Who wants to start?
I think So I freelance for a whole year. And so you're a business owner, you're owning all these things. Like I can knock something out for marketing in 30 minutes to an hour. And then someone's like, you need to do your taxes. And
Ugh.
that's going to take me 8 years. And so what I try to do is like, I time block, and I really took a lot of time to understand when I'm the most creative in my brain, and no one gets to touch that time. And then I will just kind of block it out in that way. Like in the mornings, I try not to have any meetings because that's when my brain is on and I can produce really good work. Where in the afternoons, I will take more meetings, or I will do something that's more of an admin task of like, right now I need to reorganize the Pink House Drive. And that is not something I want to do, but I can knock it out 30 minutes at a time in the afternoon when my brain isn't doing anything else. And that really helps me. And then on the other side, like asking people for help if you can, or if something is taking, like I had to realize this with my own business, like I needed to hire an accountant because I don't know how to do that. And my time spent not knowing how to do it is not, I could be making money during that time. And so I think just like if you can outsource something, if there's something an intern can do, like the U of A has some really great resources. The Small Business Center, I consult through the ASBTDC. I think we're going to share a link at some point during this, but like they have really amazing resources for small businesses, and they will help you with financial planning and administrative stuff and HR work. And like NWA is actually a really great area to be a small business. We have a lot of resources, or a nonprofit. But I think just trying to evaluate when you can't do it all, or when you shouldn't do it all, if you're able.
Yeah.
Tyler?
Yeah, for us, this has changed in the last 6 months in particular, because we have been fortunate to get to the size where we can start buying time, like what you're saying, outsourcing things. You can buy time; it costs money, but we've had, for our business, we've had an accountant for 12 years. We started with an accountant from the beginning, and the amount of time that has bought us has been phenomenal. I hate writing the check every year of what it costs to have that accountant, that CPA. But I always look at it and go, oh my gosh, the amount of time I bought to where I can spend more time on that creative end is phenomenal. For me, I agree with Rachel. Time blocking is huge for me. I have times that I call deep work, where I throw in the headphones, turn on a very specific type of music, and just dive. And I can get crazy amounts of work done, either administrative or creative. So I think for me in particular, it is finding whatever that groove is where you're able to do both of those things. For Rachel, she said it's different times a day. For me, it's how can I get myself into a focused state to do whatever the task is that I'm up to. But a lot of the administrative stuff, we're in the process of hiring, if anybody's interested, for someone to take on a lot of the administrative pieces within our company. And like my wife in particular is very excited about that, because for us, it's starting to become a problem of combing email. I can't keep up. I finally had to admit to the problem of I can't keep up with it anymore. So she's oh, you have someone. Thanks, Kelsey. Appreciate that chat. So I kind of had to, I think for part of that is admitting when you kind of get out of your depth. And there's a couple things right now where I'm out of my depth in our company. So we need to bring on some people to help manage those things for us. But when you're smaller or whatever, you can manage those things a little better. We used to run our whole company off of sticky notes and iCal. That doesn't work anymore. But yeah, so for me, that's how I handle it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like great platforms or resources where if you're on your own, of just like, I think everyone just has to figure out the best way to stay organized and stay energized for yourself. Like it's going to look totally different than everyone. And also like setting clear expectations and boundaries for people has been really important, because someone could run to you and it seems like the most important task in the world. And it's just, you ask them 3 questions like, when do you need this by? What is this for? Like, have them give you the brief and then be like, okay, I'm working on this project now, but I can start working on that tomorrow. Or I have this time blocked right now, and that that is hard to do, but no one in my experience has ever been like, you're going to get fired because you can't do this task that I need in 4 days in the 30 minutes that I asked you to. So I think you have to protect yourself as well.
I was thinking that exact same thing, that it's great to block time, but if your team doesn't honor it, what good is it? So what boundaries are you putting up? What expectations are you communicating to your team? Or so many of us work at home, or communicating those boundaries to family members. My dog doesn't understand when I try and explain this to him, but good luck. And it only works if the people that are around you and potentially distracting you with emergencies, whether they're real or not, that's the only way it's going to work. So I'm glad you mentioned boundaries.
Yeah.
We've had a pretty amazing conversation so far. This is last call before the kitchen closes. If anybody has any other questions, put them in the chat. But let's just end with some questions about some of the things that have come up. Is almost creative business feeling bad for focusing on making money, and that somehow feels like selling out. And so especially for artists and creatives who are thinking about starting a creative business, just curious how do you all keep a perspective that keeps you going and that you don't feel bad about selling your work, selling your product?
You want to start, Rachel?
Yeah, I'm all about this. So my husband and I both we worked at the same company, we lost our jobs at the same time a few years ago. And I just I had this feeling of just like, I don't want to go back to a job that I'm just doing, but money is really attractive and we need money. And so like I responded to a Nextdoor ad of my neighbor who needed someone to come pull weeds at her garden. And so I spent like 2 months making money pulling weeds while I listened to this book called You're a Badass at Making Money. And I also read this other book called A Year of Less, I think is what it's called, while I was freelancing at the same time. And my husband was like, you are happier at this point, like do what you want to do. I had like half a client at this point, and he's like, do what you want to do. We will make it work, but just take this time to evaluate. And so I was able to do that, which was really great for me. It just kind of like reframe my idea of money, and that money can be really powerful and you can do a lot of good with it. And if you have a craft and a skill that people want, you should be valued and paid for it. And all the time we are always undervaluing our craft and our knowledge, and we think that that's normal and that someone else owns that same power and knowledge, and that's just not true. So I love really encouraging people to find power in that and understanding that people want what you are selling and they'll pay money for it, and they'll probably pay more money for it than you think that it's worth. And you have to understand what your time is worth and what your craft is worth and go sell it.
How are you going to follow that, Tyler?
Amen.
Oh, yeah, there you go. From the beginning with our company, and I will say this unapologetically, I want our company to make as much money as freaking possible. Now the follow-up to that is for the purpose of what? So for us, and what I hear you saying is it's not bad making money for something you're passionate about. People they're going to buy the product or service that you provide from somewhere. Why not buy it from you? So for us, I desperately want to build a team and a culture that is well cared for, that fights the industry norms of high turnover in our business. So we make more money so that we can just pay our people more. I have a fixed level of life that we live at. As our company has grown, as we become more profitable, I have not increased the level of my life necessarily. I mean, my kids are getting bigger, so it costs more to raise them at this point. But for us, it's always through that lens of, yeah, but for what purpose? It's like, no, we don't just make more money to buy more stuff. Like, we want to make more money to take better care of our people, to bring more people on board. Like, I feel almost like in the town we do the majority of our business, or the production of it, we feel like Allison and I talk about feeling like we're on a bit of a rescue mission sometimes, like getting people out of job situations that aren't healthy for them as individuals, or provide them with much of a future. Like, we want to make a healthy work environment where they can be happy and whole, and to where the whole thing of your family, there's my buddy waking up, there you go. Yeah, just, you're blurry, don't worry. We got people in and out of the room all day on different shifts at the con, but no, we want to make sure that people can come to our place and find a place where they can be for a very long time, make a very good living, and where we can bring more people on board with that. We're a safe work environment, straight up. So we want to make a ton of money, but for that purpose. That's it. And it's been that way for 12 years.
Thought it'd be really hard to follow Rachel's like sage wisdom there, but you also provided something new and beautiful. So thank you. Thank you
Thanks.
both so much for this conversation. I almost feel like, okay, I need you two to have a podcast and just talk about this stuff all the time so I can listen and we can be inspired.
How much are we getting paid for this podcast?
Yeah.
Share our knowledge.
I value my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Value your
kidding.
time.
No.
Well, but really, thank you both so much. Everybody that's in the audience today, please let's share some appreciation and send some love to both Tyler and Rachel. And just to close things up, let's stay in touch. Y'all have heard us say this at the end of every session, but please sign up for our newsletter on our website, cashcreate.org. And please watch our YOLO page. The Year of Learning and Outreach is far from over. It's going to continue, and we want to keep bringing folks together. You all have so much expertise and experience to share with each other. So let's keep doing it. So stay looking at that website, at our website, and see what's coming up, and stay in touch. And of course, definitely contribute to our Arkansas community calendar so that we can hear about what events you are doing, and so that we can also connect with you and enjoy what hard work you all are putting into your organization or your creative business, your practice. So thanks again, and thanks for coming to Comms Week. We'll hopefully see you at Black Apple soon.